You ever click every single option in an order form just to see if the internet or your budget can handle it? Well, that's exactly what happened, except someone actually hit buy on a $7,300 pre-LP Lamborghini exhaust. And trust us, we were just as shocked. An order so outrageously maxed, we half expected our welder to stage a revolt. We're gonna dive headfirst into a fab gauntlet, shoehorning a resonated chamber, a valve, and our signature smooth merge X-pipe into the cramped rear of this V10. Spoiler alert, most shots would have just hit decline. By the end of this video, you'll witness every pipe bend, every wrench throwing headache, and every how the heck did we even fit that moment we survived. Plus, maybe you'll snag a trick or two for your own builds. If you thought complicated orders were a headache, just wait till you see us wrestle this stainless steel into submission. So tap the subscribe button, or we just might start invoicing everyone for every swear word we let fly in the shop. Can we blend these three functions into one flawless system, or will this Lamborghini Gallardo exhaust become our most spectacular self-induced disaster? Let's find out. All right, so once again, a pre-LP Gallardo, something we've done so often that we have a jig for these and we can build them without the car being here. But we recently ran into a glitch on the website on our ordering form that has a bunch of options that you can choose from. We didn't have a function in there that unpicked one when you picked something else. Now this was resonated, valved, also the megaphone option. So we've got three things going on there. Two of those we have solutions for. The problem is somebody wanted the full boat, everything that we had available. And when we saw the order came through, we were kind of like, oh, we can't do this, but we're a fab shop. And instead of saying we can't, we figured, why don't we look at it and see if it's even possible? And what that would be is our Lamborghini system, X-pipe, going into a split that would go one side to the resonator and one side to a valve in order to have a full resonated quiet mode and a loud as you can get mode. It's a lot of stuff to fit in the back of this car. It might not be possible, but I had Cody go ahead and build one on the jig up into the point. And just by chance, we had a customer come in here for some exhaust diagnostics. Basically, one of the pressure lines is setting a fault. We ran into this before, but the bumper had to come off. And since it's off and we're there, we figured, why don't we just take a few minutes and see if our system could fit up and if we could fit all that stuff in the back end. So I was previously talking about the fault that this car is having from the exhaust pressure. Misfire tubes is what they're referred to. And I'll show you where that's at here on this system. If you take a look deep down inside here, you'll see that little line that's all the way back there. Now what that is it's a hard metal tube that basically has a sensor at the other end of it that detects if there is a pressure wave that it doesn't expect to see. Now, sometimes exhaust systems will make these fault, but more often than not, what actually ends up happening is the system allows a little bit more water to build up inside of those tubes, and the water creates either blockage in the water itself or corrosion builds up in there and you need to clean them out. So what I'm having Tim do is he's accessing those tubes. We're going to pull them out. We're going to make sure they flow all the way through, put them back on there and see if we can get these faults to clear. They're both on each side. Sometimes they get a little bit rusted up in there, but because this car has had our system on there before, they shouldn't be that stuck on there. We should be able to get them off. So he's messing with that now, but we're going to get those off and see what they look like. Here's our old style resonated system. As you can see, the X goes right into the resonators, comes out and around to the exit. That's no problem. The problem is we still want to fit these resonators in here. And then we also want to fit a valve, and we need to Y in that space and then get back out to the single. So it's a lot of extra material, a lot of extra work. It might not be possible, but I don't like saying no. Sometimes I should, but me and Cody are going over the challenges. He's kind of routed the pipes up in a way that we think might work, but we're taking a look at it here.
Yeah, getting this guy kind of like figured out where we're gonna put just the resonator. Is like we only have so many options, and the exit basically is in line with the tail light, so it's coming out right in this area. So being able to fit a valve in this area, wherever the Y pipe's going to end up, and then having a resonator in here is looking kind of difficult.
Yeah, kind of hard. We'd probably need to tuck it up in there.
Yeah.
Kind of the first things that are coming to my head are, you were talking about cutting this back. What if we started the Y here? Because we have the room on the back side, the valve section went further to the back around this way, and the resonator we tried to fit in this area if we can get to it in that space. Now, I know you're not going to know that fully until you have the Y cut out. And what I'd like to do is actually step down that Y. So maybe to 2.5, because essentially you won't be cutting off flow because you have 2 branches at that point. So it's not going to restrict this thing. We're already at our 3-inch. So it's not like we're going to be restricting it by stepping down, but having those 2 chambers there, I think you'll be able to fit it there. The only thing I'm worried about is how do we get back to 1 pipe? And have it look clean. And I don't think we're going to know that until we have the basic contraption there of the pipe and the resonator to even be able to eye it up. So I think the next step would be building a Y that bumps down to 2.5 and seeing what the spacing is there. Can we get those 2 pipes close? Does the resonator need to be further back? Does it need to be out more? I can't answer these things. You want to take a crack at it and see if you can fit all of that craziness in there?
Yeah, I'll definitely give it a shot. So whenever we're trying to do a Y pipe, sometimes we have to swedge one of the ends up to meet the receiving area, especially when we're going down a size. This guy, we tried to swedge it up from 2.5 to 3-inch, and as you can see, we have a problem. Stuff like this, it happens, especially when you're trying to swedge something on a weld. The seam area is always a weak point. So this probably isn't going to work out, so we're going to try move on to the next option. All right, so we're running into a little bit of an issue with fitment. This is the standard X-pipe on this Lamborghini Gallardo. It's a pretty big sized X-pipe. The problems that we're running into with this guy is we have to fit a resonator and a valve in this system. With that, we can't really have that system in place and have the outcome be in a good area. So what we had to come up with was a shorter X-pipe. The real sacrifice here, the flow is still there and everything else like that. The power gains are still going to be there, but the sound quality is kind of the only sacrifice in this type of X-pipe. With this style of resonator valve system, we should be able to clear the bumper support and the wheel well. So with this system, we should be able to get the exit into a good point while utilizing this style X-pipe.
All right, so a big portion of this has been trying to fit as much as we can into this space as possible while still holding a lot of our design principles in place. I'm a big proponent on these true Ys. I don't like using shaved off 45s or in junction like 90s where they cross over. You see a lot of systems will have tubes that kind of just butt in place. And the best way I always put it on there is if you can imagine a jug of water, and you've seen the guys in the jug bands playing an instrument. And it also goes back a little bit to plumbing too, if you know a little bit about plumbing at a 90. It just does not create the best sound profile. All of the stuff we use, the X, the Ys, I know that the sound profile is going to be the best it could be when we're trying to fit something in. Some of my concerns are there's so many bends and turns in this tight area that it could also change the sound profile. But again, we're doing something that we haven't done before. We're trying to fit all of the principles that I like to use, that we like to fit into an exhaust system, but we're tight on space and we've got a whole lot of functions, valves, resonators, X's, and then getting back out to, Cody's got here, this little placement for where the tip has to be. What we're running into right now is we've got items more or less in place, but we have to get back to this merge. And as you can see, we have to come in at this angle. How do we get into this angle without cleanly is really the best way to go about it. We only have one exhaust tip. If maybe this was an LP car, the system would be a little different, but It could come out a dual section, but because we're dealing with this, it's just a lot to fit into this area. So we're trying to think, do we use a tighter radius bend here and go back into here directly? It wouldn't be a true Y there. Do we cut down the muffler, giving us a little bit more shift to center, allowing this bend to hopefully hit here? You can kind of eye it up, you can kind of see, but until you cut and then see where we're at fitting wise, we don't know how direct we're going to be. We can't really change the canister body. All we can change is the inlets and outlets coming to it. It's just a lot to fit into this area. And again, we probably should have just been like, no, we haven't done it before. We don't know how to do it, but that's not really the purpose of this company. I like a challenge. I like being able to see what we can come up with. But the other thing we're dealing with is this car, while it had our exhaust system on it, is here for exhaust diagnosis, and we're waiting on a part which arrives soon. So it's not like we were trying to build a whole exhaust system for this and we have an unlimited time. We've got to get this done because we had the exhaust system off and we're really just fitting it up. But we've got the tubes figured out to where we think it's not going to fault anymore. And I believe the shock is going to show up any day. So we're almost out of time in this as well. So we've got to come up with something. We can't just continuously order parts and wait on this. It looks like Cody's got most of this stuff fit in here pretty good. Can we figure this last little bit out? It might look simple, that little bit, but it's a lot more challenging than it looks. And especially if you want to have a clean presentation when all said and done. All right, so we got this thing in place. It fits. And the only thing we have left to do is to hear how it sounds. Now, before I start, a few concerns and a few changes to our normal recipe. Anytime you add a bend into the system, you're adding a point of turbulence, and typically afterwards you want it to straighten back out, but as you can see, we don't have a lot of space for this stuff. So we've got our X-pipe, we've got our merge, and then we go to two other merges. Not only does that merge oftentimes change the sound profile, adds a little bit more turbulence, little flutter to the exhaust, but it also drops the sound profile down. Typically it'll almost add a little bit of muffling depending on how it's done and how straight it is after that. So I fully expect this to be a little bit quieter, maybe on the low end, possibly, hopefully. The straight pipes tend to be a little rowdy, if you just have it straight piped, and hopefully the system, without it even being open, will correct a lot of that. But with all these turns and bends, and I try not to do a 90 at any time. It's usually not our preferred method of joining the pipes. In this case, because we are going through a resonator and the goal is quiet, and we are so limited on space and trying not to add materials to inflate the budget or the cost of this product, that's what we had to do. So let's hear it. Let's see how it sounds. And hopefully it kept a lot of the F1-ness that our systems tend to bring out in these cars. One more time, Cody. I am thoroughly impressed. Now, I will say that this is not as raw and rowdy, even with those valves open, as the straight pipe model. If it was, I couldn't be standing here right now. But it kept a lot of that pitch, a lot of that tone, and it actually sounded much more refined, both in open and closed versions. So what you're gonna get is something that has all of that F1 scream that everyone's so crazy about on these cars. But when you want it to be more refined, but still sound OEM plus, the valve's gonna shut and you're gonna be able to start this car up, not drive your neighbors nuts, and hopefully not get pulled over by the police every 10 seconds. We still have to hear this car under load to really know what it's capable of. We're not gonna put everything back on because we still got work to do on this car separately, and this was really just for testing the muffler, but I'd like to hear it to know where we're at, and we could also test the diagnostics of that gas tube pipe that we were trying to check. shoehorned 3 functions, you heard it, 3, into the Gallardo's tail, tweaked our jig design twice, and even sacrificed a bit of the straight pipe bravado for space. Technically, we accomplished a true dual mode setup without muffling that F1 inspired scream too much, but we did trade off the rawest, rowdiest of our straight pipe megaphone system, but gained tunable civility when the valves closed. In broader tuning culture, this proves that old school platforms can still surprise us. Why settle for one mode when you can engineer both? We balanced price, yes, at $7,400, and sound from silence to violence, drivability and design flow. No compromise, just calculated creativity. And if you thought exhaust building was all big tubes and bigger egos, now you know. It's a chess match of bends, turbos, and triumphs. In a world where just pick one is the status quo, assembling the ultimate Gallardo exhaust reminds us that passion doesn't dial back for convenience. It's about pushing limits, even on a platform that's nearly 2 decades old, because that's what we love to do. Drop a comment. Was this overkill or the dream setup that you wish you could build for your ride? We might read it on camera, but no promises. But we do love a good roast. Stay loud, stay curious, and we'll catch you on the next pull.